If you're about to spend $80,000 on a new camper van because you think it's safer than buying used, you need to hear this first. Here's what nobody tells you. The biggest financial mistake isn't buying the wrong van, it's buying it at the wrong time in its life cycle. If you're comparing a new Mercedes Sprinter camper conversion versus a used one, or trying to decide between a 2026 Winnebago Revel and a 2022 model, I'm going to show you exactly when new makes sense, when it's financial suicide, and why the used market in 2026 is completely different than it was 3 years ago. By the end of this video, you'll know whether you should be shopping dealer lots or private sellers, and more importantly, you'll know why. This isn't about which brand is cooler, this is about protecting your money and avoiding the regret that hits when you realize you overpaid by $30,000. Section 1. The New Van Trap. Let's start with new vans, because this is where most people get emotionally hijacked. You walk into a dealer, you see a 2026 Mercedes Sprinter conversion with the smell of fresh upholstery, 0 miles, full warranty, and your brain screams, "This is the smart choice." And sometimes it is, but here's what's happening that you don't see. The 30% depreciation cliff. A new $90,000 camper van loses roughly $27,000 in value the moment you drive it off the lot. Not over a year, not over 6 months, immediately. That's not speculation. That's what the resale data shows for popular models like the Winnebago Revel, Storyteller Overland Mode, and Thor Sequence. Now, if you're planning to keep that van for 10 years and you can afford to absorb that hit, fine. But if there's any chance you'll want to upgrade, downsize, or exit van life in 3 to 5 years, you just lit $30,000 on fire. The warranty illusion. But I'm paying for peace of mind with the warranty. Here's the truth about camper van warranties in 2026. They're split. The chassis, your Mercedes, Ford, or Ram base, has a decent manufacturer warranty, but the conversion, that's where it gets messy. Most conversion companies offer 1 to 3 years, and they're notorious for arguing over what's structural versus cosmetic. I've seen people with $8,000 electrical system failures at month 13 get denied because the converter said it was user error. Meanwhile, that same person could have bought a 2-year-old used model, saved $35,000, and paid for any repair out of pocket and still come out ahead. When new actually wins. New makes sense in 3 scenarios. 1, you're retired, this is your forever home on wheels, and you have the cash to buy outright without financing. You're not worried about resale. 2, you need a very specific current year feature that doesn't exist in older models, like the new lithium battery systems with 600 AH capacity that just started appearing in 2025-2026 builds. 3, you're buying a commercial-grade van for a business and can write off depreciation. If you don't fit one of those 3, keep listening. Section 2. The Used Van Opportunity. This next part is where most buyers finally realize why new isn't always safer. Here's what changed in the used market between 2023 and 2026. The pandemic van life bubble popped. The 2020 to 2022 glut. Remember when everyone bought a van during lockdown? Those vans are now 2 to 4 years old, and a massive chunk of those buyers are selling. They're back in apartments, they're back at offices, and they're motivated. Right now, you can find a 2022 Winnebago Solis with under 15,000 miles for $55,000 to $65,000. That same van new in 2022, $85,000. In 2026, over $95,000. You're buying the steepest part of someone else's depreciation curve. That's not luck, that's timing. The mileage myth. People obsess over mileage like it's 1987. I won't buy anything over 20,000 miles. Listen, a well-maintained 2021 Ram ProMaster with 35,000 highway miles is a better buy than a 2023 model with 8,000 miles that sat unused for 18 months. Camper vans need to be driven. Seals dry out, batteries degrade from sitting, fluids get stagnant. What matters is how it was used. Was it a weekend warrior van that saw occasional trips, or was it a full-timer that got regular maintenance and actual engine run time? Check service records, not just odometer numbers. The inspection, non-negotiable. If you buy used without a pre-purchase inspection, you're gambling. period. Here's what you need. A mechanic inspects the chassis, and a conversion-savvy RV tech inspects the living systems. Budget $400 to $600 total. I've seen people skip this, buy a $60,000 van, and discover $12,000 in hidden water damage 3 weeks later. The seller who refuses an inspection, that's your answer. Walk away. The controversial truth. Here's what's going to make some people mad. In 2026, a used 2021 to 2023 camper van from a reputable converter is often better built than a brand new 2026 model from the same company. Why? Because these companies scaled up fast during the boom and quality control slipped. The 2021 models were built in smaller batches with more attention. I'm not saying every new van is worse. I'm saying don't assume new equals better. It doesn't anymore. Section 3. The financing trap nobody mentions. This next part is where most buyers get trapped. Listen carefully. Let's talk about something that kills people financially. RV loans on camper vans. New van financing. You can get a new camper van financed at 6 to 8% interest right now with decent credit. Over 15 years, you'll pay $120,000 for a $90,000 van. You're underwater for the first 5 to 7 years, meaning you owe more than it's worth. If life changes, and it does, you can't just sell and walk away. You're stuck. This is the difference between freedom and feeling trapped by a payment you can't escape. Used van reality. Used vans are harder to finance. Banks treat them like used RVs, which means higher weights or shorter terms. But here's the flip side. If you buy a $60,000 used van instead of a $90,000 new one, you might be able to pay cash or finance half and pay it off in 2 to 3 years. No monthly payment means freedom. It means you can actually afford to travel instead of working to cover the van note. The real cost comparison. Let's say you buy new, finance $90,000 at 7% for 15 years. Your payment is around $809 a month. Over 5 years, you've paid $48,540 in payments, and your van is maybe worth $55,000. You're down $35,000 in depreciation plus $48,540 in payments. That's an $83,540 out of pocket. Same scenario used. You buy a 2022 for $60,000 or finance half. After 5 years, it's worth $45,000. You're down $15,000 in depreciation, and if you financed, maybe $18,000 total. That's a $50,000 difference. That's 2 years of travel for a couple. That's retirement money. That's not nothing. Section 4. Who should buy what? Buy new if you're retirement age, buying your last rig, and financing isn't part of the equation. You want exactly what you want configured how you want it, and you value that over resale. Buy used if you're under 60, you're testing van life, or there's any possibility this isn't your forever vehicle. You care about financial efficiency. You're willing to do a little homework and inspect before buying. The middle ground nobody considers. Here's the move almost nobody thinks about. Buy a lightly used van that's 1 to 2 years old, still under partial warranty, with under 10,000 miles. You avoid the new vehicle depreciation hit, you still get some warranty coverage, and you're buying something essentially new at a 25% discount. This is the sweet spot for people who want like new without the financial punishment. Here's my take, and I'm not going to soften it. If you buy a brand new camper van in 2026 without a specific rational reason beyond it feels safer, you're making an emotional decision with financial consequences you'll regret. The used market is full of low-mileage, well-maintained vans from people who realized van life wasn't for them. Let them take the depreciation hit, you take the deal. This is the difference between traveling free and being stuck making payments on something that's losing value while you sleep. That $80,000 decision you're about to make, this is how you make sure it doesn't own you. Do the inspection, check the records, be smart. And if a dealer tries to pressure you with "this deal won't last" or "rates are going up," remember, there will always be another van. There won't be always another chance to protect your money. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you team new or team used, and why? Drop your reasoning in the comments, especially if you disagree with me. Let's have an actual conversation about this, because I know some of you are about to tell me I'm wrong, and I want to hear it.